This is how I got afraid of the dark. I didn't used to be afraid of the dark when I was laying under my mother. It was just me and her at the time. So wherever she laid there, I laid there too. Talking from as an infant to about, I'm gonna say about 4 years old, because my sister was born, so she had to take that spot. You know, I love her so much, but we'll talk about her later. But this is how I got afraid of the dark. This where it started for me, remember? Yeah, my mother used to like to watch a lot of scary movies and horror movies and stuff like that. And, I do as well because I like the suspense, like how they gonna get away and like how they fight. Because, every horror movie got a way of you fighting back the evil, how you fight the evil back or how you get away or how that lucky person just made it, they got scratches and cuts, but they made it, you know what I'm saying? And that inspired me to love the Most High because you always gonna get away from this, survive the pain and sorrows and missing people and just death and life and the beautiful things and the bad things. I want to know how you can survive each event. So horror movies taught me that, like, oh, they got away, or they prayed this, or they got this stone, or they complete the mission to defeat evil. But this is how I got afraid of the dark. As I can remember, I was in a crib and I could walk at the time. I can get out of that crib. I probably had to be old enough, like what, 3, 4, 5. Man, I went in no crib at 5, so it had to be right for the last, probably with 3, because I can get out quick. And I will never remember, I never forget, like, my big cousin Amos, my mother loved him so much, comedian, funny, as long as I can remember. They would dress up like women in the store and just walk around. People would think they was women and stuff. I was a little kid watching this, so I got a good memory, empath, chosen one. We got a good memory. So this is how I got afraid of the dark. This cousin Amos, my mother loved him. I always see her smile around him, laughing, he having fun. He was like the party animal. But what he would do to me is he would put me in this crib. I'll never forget this night. I remember this is the most, they did it a lot. I don't know if they did it that, he did it that one time, and I just remember the trauma, or because how he knew. Well, anyway, so remember I had a lot of laughing. Excuse me, I'm thirsty. I ain't drinking water. A lot of laughing. You hear my snapping. There's a lot of laughing going on. Ha ha he, ha ha he. So I would hear the sound go, eh. So I get up. I'm scared. I look around. It's dark. I get the crib, run in the living room to them. They laughing. They ha ha ha. So my mom calmed me down. And for some reason, I guess she calmed me down and put me to sleep in the crib again. And cousin Amos, how I get up is, like, I got used to that. It's the sound he made, like a, I would get up and start running. You hear me? Running. I'm talking about running out of the crib to run back. And I remember this kept over and over. This one night, he just kept doing that shit. Excuse my language. They kept doing it. And ever since, between me watching scary movies with my mother, laying on the side of her watching, because I grew up off Jason, Freddy, all the greats, the Wolfman, Vampire, Frankenstein, the Mummy, zombies. I was in the era of zombies. Man, but that's one of my traumas, and I'll never forget that night. Man, I was always scared of the dark. It was torture, before you eat, watch a little movie, then you gotta go to sleep. My torture every night was the dark, man. I would lay under blankets and shit. Cause all I did was scare myself more watching other movies, Jason's and all this. But that was a gateway of darkness. Like, you know what I'm saying? Oh no. And it took a while. Like it took a while. And by the way, Amos is a reverend right now, speaking the light to people when he gave me darkness. And he don't know that shit fucked me up in a way. But it gave me motivation to fight the dark. So that's how I got afraid of the dark. But how I got over the darkness is, I was homeless before, but this time I was homeless. Like I'll tell you how I went from a household name to nobody know me, but that's another story. But so I came back home. I had to get my ID. They wouldn't give it to me in Colorado, so I ended up being back home, getting my ID. And everybody I thought, my customers, my friends, the old school neighbors, the OGs, the elder people who love me, the thugs, the sisters, the Rastas, the Hebrew Israelites, the Christian, the Baptist. Almost my whole neighborhood was gone. They was gentrified the hell out. Find out what that word mean. It was gone. It was just, and like I said, I love Latin people, but it was just nothing but Latin people there. I didn't know hardly nobody. And the people that was there, they were strung out on drugs. So I had no support. My support was only Chuck, 81 years old, Gemini. I mean, I used to go to him when I was 27, cutting yards when I had for my first kids, my first daughter and everything. We bought Pampers, bought food, paid bills. And when I get back 9 years later, Chuck there. He's still there. Still there, Chuck. Strongest, I don't know what. 81 years old, still take the alarm off the truck, the weed eaters, the edger, the blower, pack it on the other truck. I mean, I explained when we went from the van to the truck, but it's how I got over darkness. And I would cut grass for like 7 to 11, and then Chuck pay us. Then he said, "Okay, y'all." He always say this, and I love Chuck. He was like, "It's time for us, everybody to go home." In the back of my mind, I know I ain't had no home. Like as he ride, I'm trying to find a good spot where people won't see me lay my flesh at night. I could be walking around or wait till I could, because the only job I had was Chuck. So from 7 to 11, I'm trying to survive. I buy me something to eat, change my clothes in the tool shed. I just pray, walking around. I explain that, but at the end of the day, I had to find a place to sleep. So one time I end up sleeping. Okay, I don't know what state you in, but the railroad tracks we had in Miami, we got these bushes that hang like to the edge of the rocks, but it's like they hide you like a damn like it was shade, but it actually went to the ground and you can cover in it. So what I did, I changed up my book bag and on the tool shed sometime. I changed straight camouflage. As I get off from truck, I changed for camouflage, and I lay it on the side of the tracks, hide away from the cameras, because the camera's gonna be watching who's on the tracks. And I had to do that every night, cleaning my area, and I only had the light of the moonlight sometimes. And I learned the darkness is like sometimes your friend, you know what I'm saying? Like, and I ain't talking about the darkness of evil, wickedness, but, creator provide lights, different types of light. And one was the moonlight. And I got over the creatures, I mean, the geckos, the possums, the raccoons, the wildcats, the wild dogs. I learned how to deal with dogs, in certain levels. Respect. The man want respect. And certain, I mean, just treat everything how you want to be treated. And the dark was something, and I'll wake up sometime, hear the train track going up. That was my alarm clock. The train was my alarm clock. The rooster and the barking pit bull across the gate, they was my alarm clock. Sometimes I got to the train 3 o'clock. Sometimes I got to the rooster. He roost probably about 7 o'clock. The dog getting fed, so the dog barking probably about 8 o'clock. I mean, yeah, and I'm just telling you, that's how I got over the dark. But people don't know what they do to the children. It's funny to you, but you might be messing up somebody's life. You know what I'm saying? And it's my life stories.